Good night, everyone. Tonight, God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Energy, a spiritual divine. I'm here to give you a little short news on tonight. First we're gonna start with immigrant, the border. The border. Some of the immigrants is dying trying to cross over. They don't have no rules at the border. Title 42 is gone, but that pretty much was just for the health care. So you have 15 Republicans. They demanded a new immigration plan for 2024. In less than 60 days. So they got 60 days, to come up with a new plan for 2024 for the immigrants at the border. So the Republican member of Congress, want an immigrant bill to be set condition, or they will be not approved. They will not be approved. If we don't come up with this plan in 60 days, they will not be approved. Will not be approved funding for the Department of Homeland Security. So this put a lot, of pressure on Congress since they have less than 60 days to approve a new legislation. So 15 Republicans had sent a letter, to other members of the Congress expressing their wish list. So they sent a letter saying about their wish list and give them 60 days, to come up with this new plan. So they stated that the immigrant, plan for 2024 have to change, because they still have chaos at the border. You still have so many immigrants is dying. They're saying the children are getting sexual abuse at the border, being left alone. So they have all kind of stuff that's going on with the immigrant. They climbing over. They're flipping out the boat. So we have to come up with something to make a difference at the border with the immigrant. So criminal cartel maintain operation control of the border. So immigrants are dying left and right on Texas ranches. So they die. And then you have, like I said, you have their children being abused. So they want a new plan to secure the border. So nothing's not secure right now, and that's why all this stuff is happening. So they need a plan to secure the border and the result from the open border. Because right now the border is open. So they sent a letter to step, or to take, secure the border. Now they sent a letter to wish list, what they should do to try to secure the border. So signing the H.R. 2, similar strong border into the law and prohibit funds from being used, and massively release immigrants through the CBP, because they're leaving some of their children at the border. So the children, this is custom border protection. So adopting policies that give law enforcement military tools to target dangerous, cartel. Insurance secretary, so they want they want to be funded $10 billion. So immigrant, children is getting abused from the disaster transporting at our southern border. They stated no border security and no funds. So in 60 days they will not have no security at the border, and it will not be funded, until we come out with a plan for the border. So expand legal pathway policy, with strict rules at the border. New pathway to enforce, to protect at the border. Immigrants are dying trying to cross the border. We really need to close the border temporarily. So I request that the border be closed temporarily, until we can come up with a new plan for 2024. Because sooner or later they will not have no security at the border, and it will not be funded. You know, so we have 60 days to come up with a policy, you know, to have immigrant protected at the border. You know, so until, you know, I request for us to close temporarily for right now. You know, until we come up with a new immigrant plan for 2024. So in the meantime, the border should be closed right now. You know, we got 60 days to come up with a new plan. You know, and I will try to come up with something before 60 days along with the other leaders. You know, so so now we're gonna talk about voters. You know, I'm gonna be talking about voting for quite a while. You know, for voting this next year, and the more we talk about it, the more we can get everybody together, get the information updated, everything, so they can be ready to vote next year. You know, so voting rights go for anybody. You know, even for the ones who serve time in prison. You know, so we need all who can come out and vote for 2024 election. You know, so we done had innocent men had served a crime being wrongfully in prison. You know, so we also had men serve a crime and complete their sentence. You know, so now we have both cases. You know, we can have a background check done to make sure their record are clear to vote. You know, not just have them vote and they still have other stuff on their crime, because sometimes they're just served for that and they're out. You know, their whole case have to be clear in order for them to vote. You know, trying to give everybody a chance to be able to vote. You know, but if they had killed someone, they are disqualified to vote. You know, if both background come back clear, you know, they should be able to vote. You know, because, you know, we have to make sure they don't have anything else in their own record. You know, so they done served their time. You know, if they done served their time and everything is clear, you know, they're able to vote. But if they serve time and complete their time and killing someone, they're disqualified to vote. You know, so if you are clear, you know, if your background come back clear, then go register to vote. You know, and update your information, and you'll be good to go for next year. You know, make sure you give the proper address for the district that you at. You know, that means your criminal record, everything was clear. You don't have nothing else in your background. You're able to vote. We're trying to get everyone to come out and vote. You know, so we just talked about so now we're gonna talk about two black sisters are missing. You know, the FBI began searching for teen sisters that are missing since June. You know, the search for one was 15 years old, one was 14 years old, siblings. You know, Tamara and Iris. You know, who disappeared on June the 28th from their home, about 180 miles. You know, of Detroit. You know, so the FBI are still looking for these two sisters. You know, so now the two sisters is missing from their adopted parents. You know, and so as I was reading on, then I said, oh, okay, so it's the adopted parent. So there was the last scene from the adopted parents at home. That what they was taking it. You know, so a day after the girls had went missing, you know, the sheriff department, you know, they saw a white Jeep, you know, leaving the area where the sisters had last been seen. You know, so the FBI are still looking for these two black sisters, you know, missing, you know, from the adopted parents. So they was in the hands of the adopted parents. You know, so I'm also a missing divine person, and I also tonight will meditate on if the two sisters, find out the two sisters at, you know, see if they're still alive, or find out where they at, you know, and I will post it on tomorrow. You know, so we talk about the border. You know, we need a new plan, rules for the border in 60 days. You know, after 60 days, if we don't come up with nothing, they will not have security at the border, and it will not be funded. You know, so we got to come up with something, because immigrants is dying. All kind of stuff is going on at the border. They're leaving their daughters there. They're getting sexual abuse at the border. You know, so they got to realize security there is not their job to babysit their children. You know, I had put that out like months ago. They cannot drop their children off. You know, they're going to have to be responsible for dropping their children off, and their children is getting sexual abuse. You know, so we have to come up with something in less than 60 days. You know, so we also talk about the voting rights for anyone. You know, even the ones that serve time in prison. They serve time in prison, you know, but we can do a background check to make sure everything in their record are clear. You know, everything has to be clear for them to vote. So if everything is clear, then they can go register to vote, update their information, and they'll be ready for next year. You know, but if they didn't serve their time from killing someone, they disqualified from voting. You know, so that's on the voting. And we talk about the two sisters are missing. And the last time they was at the home, it was with the adopted parents. You know, and they saw a white Jeep, like the two sisters was in there, they took off, but they're still investigating, they're still looking into it. You know, so that's all the news I have for you on tonight. Y'all have a blessed, safe night, and I see y'all on the next video.